with, how much home insurance do property owners need here in Georgia?
Well, you need enough to, it gets down to what they call replacement cost coverage on a house, which is different than what the house is worth. And that's one thing people sometimes don't understand. It can actually be less than the house worth, or it can be more than the house is worth for replacement cost. Every company has what they call a replacement cost estimator, and they'll come up with a value for that house. My advice, I guess in short, would be if you're talking to a broker will be able to go through multiple replacement cost estimators and kind of get an idea of what each company is looking for. You really want to do that, because if you don't do that and you just kind of go with what one company said, you could wind up being underinsured. And you want to make sure you're not underinsured. If you hear about the problems that that customers have had in different areas where their claim didn't get paid after a total loss or a disaster, happens, the main reason why that's happened is because the house was underestimated in cost. And when a loss happens, a big, catastrophic kind of loss happens, everybody's running to get supplies, everybody's running to get the thing fixed, and costs can just skyrocket. So you want to make sure you've got enough coverage on there that when something happens, the company will come in, take care of it, and you don't have to worry about them coming in and saying, well, I know we said we could rebuild your house for $700,000, but it's actually going to cost you $1 million. And sorry, you only have $700,000. So how would you like your house rebuilt? You want to avoid that kind of situation.
I know we're running probably a lot right now with the California fires, the Alabama tornadoes from years ago. I remember back when I first got into insurance back in '09, and then those hit Alabama in 2011. That was a big thing that people were really disappointed about, was the replacement cost of their properties. And when Hurricane Ian and when Helene hit Florida, once again, it's the same issue, especially in Florida, whole different home insurance market there. One thing I've always wondered too, and I know a lot of other people wondering, when you talk about home insurance coverage, how much personal property, well, first of all, what is personal property coverage, and how much do you think people need on their home insurance?
Your question about personal property, that really kind of comes down to you personally. I mean, I know some people that live in $1 million homes and they have, couches they bought at IKEA. And so it's not really, really expensive stuff. And then there's people that live in $500,000 homes, and they've got really nice, they may have a grand piano in there, all kinds of nice things, paintings and stuff like that. So it's really a personal question. And I will tell you the number one thing, you need to be working with an agent that will ask you that question, that will say, how much personal property do you have? What kind of things do you have in your home? One of the things that we use is we'll say, if you think about your neighbors' homes or people around you, do you have the typical thing that somebody that would own a house like yours has in it? And if you don't, if there's something in there that's not typical, let us know about that. Another thing I learned years ago was if you take the house and you turn it upside down and you shake it, everything that falls down is your personal property. And when you think about insuring that, you've got to think about that from a capacity of replacement cost. What's it going to cost to go out and replace all of this stuff with stuff that's brand new? And another thing that sometimes we'll use is if I walked up and said, hey, Chris, I'm going to take everything in your house and I'm going to give you $100,000 for it. Would you take it? Would that help you go buy it all brand new? And if you're like, no, I need more than that, then you need more personal property coverage. So that's just some general things that we kind of walk people through. But the biggest thing there is to make sure the agent you're working with is asking that question and make sure you've kind of taken stock of what you have in there.